How you doing?
Good.
What's going on?
Waiting on my Uber.
Waiting for your Uber?
Yeah.
You have an ID I can take a look at, man?
No, you don't. I don't. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Well, you're sitting in front of a closed bar and I can
I'm
see you're
waiting on my
intoxicated.
Uber, my friend.
Let me see your ID.
No.
Okay. We can do this one in two ways, sir. Okay, well.
I'm doing everything right. Not drinking and driving. You are messing with a Navy veteran that is waiting on an Uber.
Sir, I'm going to ask you one more time.
That is doing nothing wrong.
Can I see your ID?
No, you can't.
You're drunk in public. Stand up.
What are you doing? I'm sitting
Put your
here
hands behind
doing
your back.
nothing.
Put your other hand behind your back. Set your phone down, sir, and put your hand behind your back.
I'm sitting here doing nothing. Waiting on an Uber.
On May 1st, in Wheat Ridge, Colorado, Navy veteran James was sitting on a bench outside a bar at 2:30 a.m. He was approached by officers of the Wheat Ridge Police Department who cited a welfare check as their reason for contact.
How you doing?
Good.
What's going on?
Waiting on my Uber.
Waiting for your Uber?
Yeah.
You have an ID I can take a look at, man?
No, you don't. I don't. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Well, you're sitting in front of a closed bar and I can
I'm
see you're
waiting on my
intoxicated.
Uber, my friend.
Let me see your ID.
No.
Okay. We can do this one in two ways, sir.
We can
Okay,
do this many ways.
I'm being respectful to you.
I'm sitting here waiting on my Uber. I am doing nothing
Show me on your
wrong.
phone that your Uber's coming.
You know what? I want to break out my camera right now.
Go ahead, mine's running
I want
as
to
well.
start filming you.
Mine's running as well.
I am not doing anything wrong.
Okay, well,
I'm doing everything right. Not drinking and driving. And why are you messing with me?
I'm not messing with you, sir. You're sitting in front of a closed
you
bar.
are.
You're sitting in front of a closed bar.
You are messing with a Navy veteran that is waiting on an Uber.
Sir, I'm going to ask you one more
That
time.
is doing nothing wrong.
Can I see your ID?
No, you can't.
You're drunk in public.
No, I'm not drunk in public.
Give me your ID. I'm giving you a lawful order.
You're not getting anything, dude.
Okay. Stand up.
I am not doing anything wrong.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
What are you doing? I'm sitting
Put your
here
hands behind
doing
your back.
nothing.
Put your other hand behind your back. Set your phone down, sir, and put your hand behind your back.
I'm sitting here doing nothing. Waiting on an Uber.
Two
Are you
victims, sex
kidding
protective
me?
custody.
The officer asks James for his identification and to see his Uber app. When James refuses, the officer takes him into protective custody. Under Colorado Revised Statute, Section 2781111, the law mandates that an officer may only take a person into protective custody if they are under the influence and clearly dangerous to themselves or others, or are otherwise incapacitated. Crucially, the statute requires the officer to be acting with probable cause that this specific danger or incapacity exists. The authority to seize a citizen for a medical check requires more than the mere presence of alcohol. It requires an immediate, articulate, and observable threat. During the interaction, James answers questions clearly and logically, appearing perfectly fine to a reasonable observer. He has already summoned an Uber to transport him home safely, the definition of responsible, non-dangerous behavior. It is important to note that under this same statute, a police officer can assist an intoxicated person to their home even if they are not a danger. However, while the statute allows this, James had already secured his own transportation and did not require state assistance. Also, the officer initiates the seizure specifically after James refuses to provide his ID, not because he observed a safety concern. Building on this, the officer lacked the statutory foundation required to take James into protective custody, making this an unlawful seizure.
Okay, all I asked for was to see your Uber.
I'm doing
and you want to
nothing.
argue, and you're intoxicated. I don't think you're making good choices, sir.
I'm waiting on my Uber, which is the best choice.
Sir, all I was trying to do was verify.
The worst choice would be driving.
Sir, all I was trying to do was verify your Uber. Was that right or wrong?
Well, if you unlock me, I'll show you the Uber.
Well, that's what how many times did I ask for that, sir?
Have I done anything illegal?
Well, you're intoxicated in public.
I'm sitting on a bench waiting on my Uber.
At a closed business in a high crime area.
Waiting on my Uber.
So, sir, I have no idea who you are or what you're doing, and it's my job to find out. So all I did was wanted to have a conversation with you, and you won't give me any information at all, and it's obvious that you're intoxicated, right?
That is why I am waiting on an Uber.
Right, and how many times did I ask you to see your Uber? All you want to do is film me and argue with me.
I have done nothing wrong. I'm sitting here minding my own business.
Sir,
True or false?
I'm just doing my job.
You are with a Navy veteran.
Sir, step over here.
Just sitting here minding my
Step
own
over here.
business.
Step over here. Sir, you can't even walk. You're
What?
intoxicated
No,
to the point
no,
where
no,
you're
no,
a danger
no,
to yourself.
no. What are you guys doing? I'm waiting on my Uber.
Sir,
Doing
you're going to go to
nothing.
detox. You can't even walk.
I was sitting in the chair, not
Sir?
bothering anybody.
Sir, I was trying to be reasonable with you.
Oh my
It's
God,
obvious that
dude!
you're
I am a
extremely
Navy
intoxicated.
veteran,
Okay, thank you for your service.
and I'm just sitting there minding my own business,
Right, at a closed business.
and
it's my
waiting
job-
on my Uber.
And all I asked was for you to verify it. All I asked you to do was show me it on your phone, and I'm good with that. Okay, but you refused to do that.
While the officer uses the label of protective custody, his claims, including sitting in front of a closed business and refusing to provide ID, signal that he is acting as if he has probable cause for a criminal arrest. I want us to determine if the officer had reasonable, articulable suspicion or probable cause for an arrest had he chosen that path. We begin with the high crime area claim. While the Supreme Court case Illinois versus Wardlow allows police to consider an area's history, the ruling in Brown versus Texas established that mere presence in a high crime neighborhood is not enough to justify a stop. Because James was not acting evasively, his presence was a neutral fact, meaning it was as consistent with lawful activity as it was with criminal conduct. To turn a location into reasonable suspicion, the law requires plus factors such as furtive movements or an observable weapon. Since these indicators were absent, the stop lacked the individualized suspicion required for a Fourth Amendment seizure. Next, the officers claim that James was doing something wrong by being intoxicated and sitting in front of a closed bar. Under Colorado law, loitering requires specific evidence of an intent to commit a crime which was entirely absent in this interaction. Furthermore, Colorado Revised Statute section 278-1101 explicitly decriminalizes public intoxication, declaring it a public health issue rather than a criminal offense. Finally, the demand for identification. Colorado Revised Statute section 163103 only authorizes police to compel identification if they have reasonable articulable suspicion that a crime has been committed. Since we established that sitting on a bench and being intoxicated are not crimes, James was under no legal obligation to surrender his identity. None of the officer's justifications met the statutory requirements for a crime under Colorado law.
Are you really doing this to a Navy
I'll
veteran?
grab his phone. I was trying to be reasonable.
At this point, the officer mutes his body cam for 3 minutes to confer with the other officer before unmuting the device.
Are you fucking serious?
James, listen to me.
Didn't drink and drive.
Thank you
made
for
the
that.
right choice, and you guys come up and just fucking shake me down.
James,
Navy veteran,
James,
combat medic. My Uber's
is
gonna
there
be there in
anybody
2 minutes.
sober that can come get you?
You're not listening.
You're not, sir. I'm
I
asking.
called an Uber.
Well, you can't
The
call.
Uber was 2 minutes away.
You can't. You
before
can't.
you shook me down.
James, we've been here for 10 minutes and they're not here. You can't call Uber. That's
Where's
not the
my
way.
phone?
That's not the way Uber works. He's got your
Where's
phone.
my phone?
He's got your
Right
phone
here.
right there.
Look it up. Whether I call an Uber or not.
You can't call them on the phone.
Did you do it through an app or did you
I
call
did
them?
through the Uber app.
Alright, so how do I get into your phone?
6969.
If they're coming, man, I'll release you to them. But if not,
6969.
but if they're not, you're not
And
leaving
then
us much
look up
choice.
Uber. Listen,
There's
fellas.
a green button.
I am a former combat medic.
James, thank you
sitting
for your
there,
service.
How do you
and I'm
how
not
do you-
going to lie to you.
how do I go?
6969.
He's in
I'm
it.
in.
Uber. Listen, fellas. You should not be doing this to a combat medic veteran.
It says it's 5 minutes away. If he's here in 5 minutes, we will release you to that Uber.
Okay.
Okay?
Please, let me out of here and tell me I didn't do it.
When the Uber gets here, we'll do that. All you had to do was show me this in the first place.
The officer makes James's release contingent on showing the Uber app, telling him that if he doesn't comply, he will be taken to a detox center. James eventually surrenders his password, allowing the officers to look through his phone. Under the totality of the circumstances test from the Supreme Court case Schneckloth v. Bustamante, the court held that for consent to be valid under the Fourth Amendment, it must be given freely and voluntarily, and not be the product of duress or coercion. In this interaction, James was faced with an ultimatum: to surrender his digital privacy or face a prolonged detention in a locked facility. This was an acquiescence to authority that strips the consent of its legal foundation. Also, the Supreme Court established in Riley v. California that searching a cell phone is less like looking through a wallet and more like a flight to the moon, as these devices hold the most private details of a person's life. This makes the Fourth Amendment protections for digital data particularly high. Under Colorado Revised Statute, protective custody is a civil health procedure designed for medical intervention, not a criminal arrest. Because the officers are acting under a public health mandate, their authority to conduct searches is even more restricted than in a criminal case. The officers' demand to see James's phone lacked both a warrant and a valid exception to the Fourth Amendment.
I felt a little intimidated, man. Like I wasn't respected.
We're sorry you felt that way, James.
Yeah, James, that wasn't my intention.
We
I
were
would
coming
never
to,
do it to you guys.
we were concerned for your welfare. That's why we contacted you.
All right.
We didn't want you walking
thank
off
you.
into the
Thank
street.
you, fellas.
A lot of people lie to the cops, and as far as I know, I'm contacting you drunk, which is, it's fine, you're drunk, that's not a big deal. But if you wander out in this street and get hit,
I understand.
then it's on me, man. You gonna be cooperative?
Absolutely.
I'm good with it if you are.
Yeah.
I'm good with that, man. Okay, just, hey, as long as you and I agree that you're gonna be cool,
Hey.
right?
I want to have one more thing to say, brother.
No, you can talk all you want.
Anyway, I
There
didn't
you
listen. I didn't mean to be offensive.
I get you, man.
Thought I
It's
was
fine,
doing the
no
right
offense.
thing. I was sitting.
And I commend you for that. I really do. I commend you for that. You're good.
Yeah,
So hey,
let me tell you something.
pull up that Uber app. real quick.
Iraq veteran. Okay.
Thanks for your service, man. Pull up that app on your phone again so we can see how far that Uber driver is.
Where's my phone?
It's up here. It said 5 minutes when we looked at it, so let's see where they're at. Did you have a good time tonight?
Just minding my own business.
No, I just asked if you had a good time. I didn't ask what you were doing.
Just an average time.
At just an average time?
Yeah. That's what ex-veterans do.
So how many minutes? Cool.
3 minutes.
I'm good with that, man. I just wanted to, because it said 5 minutes, and
Yes,
they must be.
I didn't mean to be offensive, man.
No,
I
you
just
weren't
thought I was
offensive,
sitting
man.
minding my own business.
You're not offensive, but you have to understand, man.
The wrong thing to do is drive, right?
Agreed. So let me tell you.
Worst thing to do,
let me tell you-
which I won't do.
Let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I had somebody over here that was stabbed just like that. So I wouldn't be doing my job, man, if I didn't check to make sure you're okay. Like I said, if you didn't have Uber coming and you walk out into 44th and get hit by a drunk driver or somebody's not paying attention, then that's on me, man. And I'm not. And you're a veteran, dude. I'm not gonna. I don't want that on my. I don't want here. I don't want that on my conscience.
Maybe
man.
your thing got a little out of hand, dude. I should have
No,
been
there was
more-
nothing out of hand.
No, maybe you shot. I didn't understand what was going on.
I understand.
What
yeah.
I thought was I'm sitting on a bench, not driving, as a veteran, because you know what? When I was in the military, I was a crazy, drinking all the time. But I thought, I'm sitting here minding my own business, and waiting on my Uber. And I'm sorry, dude, if I offended you.
No, dude, you didn't offend me.
I'm sorry.
I said no apology
I'm sorry
necessary,
if I got a
man.
little
Seriously, no apology necessary.
But I didn't lie to you.
You did not lie to me, and I appreciate
I
that.
told you the Uber was coming.
But you don't have to apologize to me either. There's nothing to be sorry for, man.
That's the first time I've been in handcuffs in about 26 years.
Yeah.
Finally, James's Uber arrives.
Are you Uber?
Yeah.
I got your guy's over here.
Is he okay?
Yeah. No, he's sitting in front of a closed bar, hunched over a little bit. He's had a little bit to drink, so
Okay.
he's good.
Okay.
He's good. He's not creating any problems, but as a police officer, I drive by and see somebody hunched over on a bench outside of a closed bar, and that's a clue.
What's your name?
They're gonna get you home, brother.
Never lie to you.
Nope, you didn't. I appreciate that. They're gonna get you.
Yeah.
Yep, that's James. Thanks, man.
Hey, thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Following the incident, Chief Chris Murtha and the department administration reviewed the encounter between James and the officers. In an official statement released alongside the body cam footage, the department cited Colorado Revised Statute 163103 as the authority to stop and detain any person reasonably suspected of criminal activity. They noted that the bar was the scene of a homicide by stabbing in 2020 and argued that these circumstances justified a request for identification and an explanation of James's actions. The department also cited CRS 2781111, claiming that James showed signs of intoxication and an inability to care for himself, which triggered their policy of handcuffing a subject for transport to a treatment facility. The department's justifications are far from the actual law. Proximity to a high crime area cannot by itself justify a detention. The Fourth Amendment requires a particularized suspicion that the specific individual is committing a crime. Regarding the protective custody claim, the act of summoning an Uber directly contradicts the assertion that James was unable to care for himself. James had already satisfied the health and safety goal that the statute is intended to address. The department's attempt to rebrand a Fourth Amendment violation as a standard procedure for transport represents a total failure of the legal standards. While the incident sparked a major debate over stop and identify laws and the use of protective custody, there is no publicly available information indicating that a civil rights lawsuit was ever filed by James, despite his early indications that he planned to pursue legal action. With the audit complete, here are the final scorecards for both Wheat Ridge police officers and Navy veteran James. You can pause the video to read through their scorecards. If you found value in this video, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another episode.